So following that meeting that I walked out of, it took Dana Drake very little time to make her way from admin back to my office. Um, you hear in this clip that I say I believe what she's telling me, that she had no idea what was happening prior to that meeting. I really did want to believe her in that moment. But in light of what had happened previously with Dana Drake and Terry Joe Shoemaker, the write up where they sexually harassed me, the meeting where they disparaged and made fun of my concerns regarding COVID 19, um, Dana Drake not only was lying to me that day, but she was actively intimidating too. And I complained about that. You'll later hear in Dana Drake's own words that not only can she do this, but she's entitled to because she's my supervisor. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So after I left that meeting, I wrote I wrote an email to HR and to leadership asking for help and asking for an apology from Terry Joe Shoemaker. And specifically also regarding Dana Drake coming to my office to pressure me when she knew I was asking for help. I found that totally to be inappropriate. So why would I ask for an apology? Well, that, for all purposes, was an easy thing. I was asking for an apology because they were requiring me to sign a list of expectations while giving me a verbal directive, which was specifically not on that list of expectations. In other words, I was being told that I would be working a security post as security in 4 hour blocks, and this was not listed anywhere on those expectations. And again, I've got that listed on my Instagram under expectations. So I found this not only to be very shady, but also highly inappropriate, unprofessional, and I do believe I relate some of that to Dana Drake when she marched back to my office. But not only was it all those things, inappropriate and unprofessional, it's also very dangerous as well. In light of my leadership purposely putting staff at risk, I cannot take any more chances because they were willing to let people die. And yeah, people did die. Staff died, offenders died, and family members of staff also passed away. It was all very tragic. And it happened over that period of time from 2020 to 2021 before the vaccine came out. I refuse to allow IDOC and their leadership to not just place me in harm's way, but to do so in a manner which endangered not just me, but my family as well. And as I asked for more help around this, things got steadily worse for me. I continued to seek a response from my HR rep, and it took 2 more days from that meeting with Drake and Shoemaker for somebody to finally get in touch with me, which was fine, I guess. Uh, but it was odd. And I'd already been asking for something from HR even, more than 2 weeks prior to that. So HR finally does get in touch with me, and guess guess who it's going to be? Not the HR person who I've been emailing and talking to literally less than 30 days prior because of, me being sick and getting, all those things. So my HR representative mysteriously changes and now it's Cody Carlson. Yeah. So the first thing he attempted to do when he finally reached out to me is set a meeting with my leadership, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You and I need to sit down and go over what's going on because I don't know if you know what's going on. So that pissed him off almost immediately. I was like, I don't know what the problem is. You're my HR rep, apparently, so I haven't talked to you. I've been talking to somebody else. So, anyway, if you looked at the other segments, you can go back and you can see some of the stuff from when I was originally written up back in 2017. Uh, who was it that was saying volunteering, not volunteering was bordering on insubordination? That would be Cody Carlson. He operates hand in glove with leadership to, at that point in time, back in 2017, to leverage OT out of staff for nothing. That was what he was doing back then. And what do you know? Here he is trying to force people, non security, to work as security. So I have a new HR rep. Yay. And so when that meeting with Cody Carlson does happen, you'll see how it all goes down when I meet with Dana Drake, Carlson, Terry Joe Shoemaker, and Noel Barlow Hust. Yeah, it's me and all of them. Yeah, that's a great meeting, which will be interesting to go over. So I speak out, obviously, against working security posts. I'm talking about this for every case manager and everyone who's non-security. Cody Carlson takes very short time and say, you may not speak out for everybody else, but I continue to anyway. I kind of ignored him because I'm like, look, people are afraid. So I tell them that staff is afraid to say anything for exactly what is happening to me because I'm sitting in a room with all of those guys is occurring in real time. Staff is terrified. And for those who do say something, they're just ignored. Like I said, it does get a lot worse. Um, but that is just part of the whole picture of what IDOC does when it comes to speaking out when things are not appropriate. When things are dangerous, when people's rights are being violated, IDOC has a very clear and consistent pattern in going after any staff member who says anything, who does not go with what they are saying is happening. Are you familiar with the term groupthink? If you have any thoughts outside of what leadership has mandated, you're considered the problem. Let's listen to the audio. So Dana Drake comes in my office, very short. Here we go. I really don't want to talk to her. I have nothing to say at this point because she's trying to intimidate me into working in security. I am not okay with that at all. And I'm not going to be pushed around. Sorry. It's not going to happen. So,
to be honest, you guys really didn't get to discuss much. You had some concerns there, and so, and I just feel a little bit bad that maybe this didn't get to be addressed. But anyway, so that she did ask if you would come back up after our meeting.
Maybe I'll talk to her in a week. I don't know. There's no reason for me to talk to her because I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm helping out if they need help. I'm doing everything I need to do. If there's anything on top of that, then we're going to have a conversation. But if it's security and doing a post, we're going to have a different conversation.
But that was the time for the conversation.
And I said, you hand me a thing of expectations, and that's not on there, that's shady, and that's not okay. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not going to do it.
So that was the first time I've seen those as well.
I'm sure.
Seen that. But I did see where she was going with it. That was in regards to when you are helping, these are the things you will help with. So I saw both sides of that. But
there wasn't both sides. She told me to check in with Shift Command and take a shift. That's not both sides. This is what you will do.
Like I see what you were saying with the sheet as well. I see that, and I see where she was coming from. But it is something we're being asked to do right now, and I get your perspective.
Case managers, we've been run over and run over and run over. Nobody else wants to stand up and say, hey, I'm not going to take this, then I'm going to do it. I'm sorry.
You feel like you need to do that? But we're not being run over. I don't feel like.
I know. Well, that's your position.